Hello everyone, this is ARCUS 12 here at ARCUS Studios and ARCUS 12 Plays, and today we are continuing our adventures in Trails of Cold Steel. In the last episode, you guys saw the very beginning, which started 5 months from where we are in the actual storyline. 5 months from now, a very nasty set of events gets set into motion. The base called Guerrilla Fortress comes under attack, and our heroes end up getting thrown into the fray and have to watch as two titanic cannons are about to unleash salvos on a trade conference in Crossbell City, which is like a sort of a independent state from that sits between the Erebonian Empire and the Calvard Republic, which are kind of enemies, and it constantly vying for power over Crossbell. These two massive cannons called the railway guns are about to open fire, and that's when the 5-month gap stops and we get reintroduced into these characters properly. We met Rean Schwarzer, who was our main character, and we met all of his classmates in what is apparently known as Class VII, which is the 6th class at Principal Van Dyke's Thors Military Academy. Thors Military Academy is a very prestigious academy that it trains people not just to go into the military, but also to broaden their horizons. But as a military academy, it does also teach you, basic etiquettes for military life that you are supposed to carry on. The thing about Erebonia is that you've got two class systems. You've got the nobles and you've got the commoners, and the nobles and commoners there's just some friction going on here right now, which is very clearly seen considering the fact that Class 7 is unique compared to the other classes, because Class 1 and 2 are supposed to be for nobles, and Class 3, 4, and 5 are for commoners, because there are more commoners than nobles that attend Thors. But Class 7, the 6th class in Thors Military Academy, is made up of both. And it's a smaller class than most, and they have been given special battle orbments, which are these devices that you set powerful magical items into that allow you to use special abilities or enhance your characters, called the ARCUS units, which act both as cell phones and battle orbments. Every character in this class also has unique fighting style, and if you watch the first episode, you know that there's some friction going on already between characters. Machias Regnitz, who is the son of the Imperial Governor, who is a prominent figure in the Imperial Reformist faction, and Eustace Alberea, the youngest son of one of the 4 most powerful families in Erebonia, a noble family known as the Albereas. They don't like each other already, and that was made plainly obvious in the couple of conversations they had. We also were introduced to Elisa R. She refused to give us her last name. And it was kind of an unfortunate introduction because she kind of landed on top of us when we fell through a trap door that our instructor, Sara Valestein, dropped us through. Or Valestein, I guess, not Valestein. Anyway, yeah, she landed on top of us, chest first, right into our face. And that was obviously an accident. I was trying to protect her because I reacted instinctively, and she didn't appreciate how we wound up at the bottom of this very narrow pit. There are multiple other characters that you're going to be introduced to in more in-depth way. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replay that. You're not going to see everything that I have already replayed. I'm going to stop the recording and then start it back up once I get to the new part. The thing about this game is the transitions do not leave me good spots for being able to stop recording, so every recording is probably going to end up carrying over to a different recording at some point. But what I'm doing is I already beat the game. The last time I played, I was like 36 hours, 40 hours into the game. Now, I am done with 88 hours under my belt and starting up New Game Plus, and I'm loading in these 3 sections right here that you see checkmarked. And what those are instances where things such as the items, the link levels, and I'm unlocking max bonding points, which I know is going to probably irk anybody who's played this game, because they say, oh, max bonding points, that's pointless. Well, it's pointless for playthroughs that don't require YouTube recordings. But for YouTube recordings that are very dependent on the story, I am going to be unlocking max bond points, so that way I can not only see all the events that I didn't see the first time, but also so that you guys can enjoy them too, because these characters have a lot of interesting things to say. And some of these things actually do bring me to tears. Like, I'm playing I'm playing the second one right now. I'm already 50 hours into the second one. I'm being brought to tears every time I come to conversations with some of these characters. They're very moving, and they're very colorful and very fleshed out, and I love it. So yeah, anyway, you've heard me babble enough. You know what's going on. We watched what appears to be an attack on the Guerrilla Fortress, which is the biggest fortress in the Erebonian Empire. We watched the railway guns almost annihilate Crossbell City, and then we went back in time and saw how all that was going to start. So 5 months into the past from that event at Guerrilla Fortress, we are here at Thors Military Academy. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you saw on the calendar, it's been about 2 weeks.
All right.
Cute family. Especially his little sister there.
Time to get going.
Oh, Rean!
Morning, Elliot.
Good morning. Are you heading to school now too? How about we walk there together?
Sure. It's getting late though, so we might need to pick up the pace a little.
No problem. I'm guessing everyone else left already, huh?
I think so. I'm not sensing anyone else on this floor, at least. Gaius in particular is probably long gone by now, being the early riser he is.
Oh, okay then. He's not sensing anyone? What does that mean exactly?
That's a very good question, Elliot. To date, I have not encountered any instance in which he explains that. But that's how you actually get, I think that's how you actually get access to the map, is that, and the reason why things are represented with like yellow dots or red arrows is that he's sensing them. But yeah, I don't think the storyline actually tells that. I'm guessing it's supposed to be like a fighter's intuition or something like that. I'm not entirely sure.
Huh.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning! Are you two on your way to school?
Yeah. Come on, Emma. We're going to be late. Hey, wait for me, Lisa. We'll see you in class.
I never would have guessed she'd hold a grudge this long.
In case you guys have forgotten, Rean tried to rescue Elisa from the trap door in the old schoolhouse, and she ended up landing on top of him, and his face was buried in a very awkward location. And despite the fact it was an accident, she slapped him and hasn't quite forgiven him.
She knows it was just an accident, right? She has to. Can't believe she'd be so sensitive.
No kidding. She's not even giving me a chance to apologize to her.
Well, as long as you keep trying, I'm sure she'll understand. Eventually. Class 7's got enough tension as it is, what with our two, prideful warriors at each other's throats. So I think it would be a load off everyone's mind if you and Elisa could make up at least.
I'll certainly do what I can, whatever that may be.
These past 2 weeks have really flown by, haven't they? It's funny, I went into this thinking combat practice would be the toughest part of the curriculum. Never would have guessed the academic side of things might give it a run for its money.
Well, strong in body and mind is pretty firmly embedded into Imperial culture. I do get what you mean, though. I figured I'd be able to coast through the year, but I've had to very quickly reevaluate that.
You too, huh? I wish I were as smart as Machias or Emma. They don't seem to be having any problems at all. But then, Emma got the top score on the entrance exam, and I'll bet you anything Machias wasn't far behind.
I'm sure. Eustace and Elisa are apparently doing really well, too. As are Laura and Gaius.
Really? Guess I'm just gonna have to suck it up then. Though I really do hope they don't mind.
Huh? I'm not sure I follow.
Oh, sorry. You got me thinking about Eustace and Laura. I've been talking to them the same way I talk to everybody else, but they're both nobles, right? And Eustace's family rules over the whole eastern side of the Empire, so it kind of feels like I should address them more formally.
Well, they both said it was okay, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Though you probably shouldn't go picking fights with Eustace every chance you get, like a certain someone else.
Oh, I don't plan on it. I'd hoped they'd get along a bit better over time, but if anything, things seem to be spiraling downhill fast on that end. When the two of them are in the same room, there's just this constant tension in the air.
It's not all Machias either. Eustace seems to enjoy provoking him at every opportunity. I can't even imagine what it would take to make them see eye to eye at this point.
Yeah, I wish there was something we could do to help them get along. And that's where we'd be if we weren't in Class 7. Dormitory number 2, for all the common folk like us.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? I'm still kind of shocked that Class 7 gets to have its own dormitory. Though, to be fair, I think that building was abandoned till this year. Seems like they renovated it just for us.
Well, they did a good job. It's got a nice feel to it. I just wish it were a little closer to the academy.
Hey, you're in our way. Step aside at once. Class 7, I see.
Is something the matter?
You're just a ragtag bunch of nobodies, aren't you? Come on, we're leaving.
I hardly call Eustace a nobody, considering the fact that he is the son of one of the most powerful people under the Emperor himself.
Yes, Patrick! A word of advice. You might be part of a special class, but that doesn't change who you are. Never forget your place.
So they're from one of the upper classes. This is why I hate talking to them.
Unfortunately, that attitude is all too common among the nobles. Thank goodness Laura and Eustace aren't like that.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. That's the infamous dormitory number 1, where all the nobility lives. It's supposed to be super fancy inside, with maids and butlers and everything.
Wow, really? Guess that's our cue to pick up the pace.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, hey, have you picked out a club to join yet? Doesn't sound like you have to or anything, but it's probably a good way to meet people.
No, I'm still looking. It's hard to decide on one.
Stand, bow. Be seated.
As I'm sure you're all well aware, the Erebonian Empire was driven to the brink of collapse roughly 250 years ago. This was brought about by the conflict we know as the War of the Lions. A civil war lasting several years, staged over the throne of the late emperor by the most powerful of his potential successors. But of course, I'm not here to tell you that. If I were, I think even young children would be able to pass this course. Rather, I'd like to discuss the effects this had on the Empire as members of the aristocracy were drawn into the war. Many hired mercenaries turned to looting and pillaging, and a similar trend could even be seen among some of the knights. The land was left utterly devastated, and morale was at an all-time low. But then, lo and behold, into this nightmare stepped a man willing to take a stand against this bloody war of succession. He was a wandering prince who began to rally forces from the outskirts of the empire, and would go on to make quite a name for himself. And that name, of course, was Dreikels Rhysei Arnor. He would later become known as Dreikels the Lionheart, the 73rd Emperor of Erebonia and father of the Renaissance. Not to mention the founder of this very academy. Dreikels' army was initially rather small in number. But as he traveled across the empire, winning over the hearts of influential sympathizers, his forces rapidly increased. Now, the place where Emperor Dreikels first began gathering his army was... Rean Schwarzer, would you care to tell the class?
All right, let me see if I can remember what the answer is. The place where Dreikels first started to gather his army was the... I think it was the Nord Highlands. It was the Nord Highlands, a region northeast of Erebonia. Very good, Mr. Schwarzer. Prince Dreikels' wanderings led him to the land of Nord, where he lived with the vagabonds for some time. You realize you have a Nord student in your class, right? I don't think Gaius would take very kindly to being called a vagabond. It was there that he heard of the civil war taking place in Erebonia, and those vagabonds of Nord became his very first allies. Yes, I got it right. Looks like Elisa was trying to help us out there. Guess he didn't need my help after all.
Nice work, everyone. You made it through another grueling day of classes. In case you've been living under a rock, please don't forget that tomorrow is your first free day. It's not technically a day off, but there are no classes, so it's up to you what to do with your time. Why, you could go shopping in the capital if you wanted to. Or just do what I do and sleep all day. Sleep is so wonderful.
I love Sarah so much.
Will the Academy's facilities still be open for our use?
Yes, I'd like to be able to use the free study area in the library myself.
Of course! This school shuts down for no one, so feel free to patronize any and all facilities as you like. A lot of clubs have meets scheduled for these free days as well, so anyone who's joined one should probably check on that.
I see.
I'll be certain to do so.
Also, before you leave, we should go over what's happening next week. On Wednesday, you all have your practical exam.
A practical exam?
What does that entail exactly?
It's part of your combat training. You'll be graded on your performance, so make sure you're well rested and ready for battle by then. Might be a good idea to do some training on your own time too, just to keep from getting rusty.
Interesting.
I definitely don't like the sound of that.
It's all right, Elliot. We got it. I got your back. Of course, Fee is just bored.
Oh, and one more thing. After the practical exam is over, I've got another important announcement about a major part of Class 7's curriculum that I haven't mentioned at all yet.
What?
Here it comes.
So, whatever you choose to do on your free day, make it count for something. That concludes today's homeroom. Machias, if you'll do the honors.
Yes, instructor. All rise. Bow.
And of course, those two are the first two to leave. There are a lot of potential things you can do when wandering around the school, especially talking to some of the characters. There are some very colorful side characters, almost all of which do not have voice actors. But if you just wander around the school and just chat a couple of them up, they have such diverse and interesting personalities, and it's hilarious to watch certain things unfold. I'm looking forward to showing some of the more humorous ones to you. There are a few that are like subplots that you don't really have any real influence over, but they do pop up enough that it should be shown. So I'll try and endeavor to cover those as well. I remember where most of them are. This is only my second playthrough through the game, and you know, after over 120 hours of playing through the first two games, I'm sure that the conversations are going to get mixed up in my brain. So, anyway. Whew. I'm a little worried about that practical exam next week. I mean, I'm still just getting used to the staff. I'd be happy to help you train if you need a sparring partner. The gymnasium looks big enough that I'm sure that we wouldn't have any trouble finding a good spot for it. That's very kind of you to offer. But I'm planning on attending club practice today. Oh, you joined your club already? Which one did you pick? I decided to try for the band. Though I'm not sure how much use they'll have for a violinist. I didn't know you played the violin. You just pick it up for fun? Yeah, something like that. How about you, Gaius? Have you joined any of the school's clubs yet? I'm considering the art club. Art, huh? Somehow, that's not what I pictured for you. No pun intended. Do you have any artistic experience? I dabbled in it back home. Taught myself, though, so I feel like this could be a good chance to learn proper technique. Wow, that's pretty cool. I'd love to see some of your work sometime. Oh, good. They're still here. Instructor? Is there a problem? No. I was just hoping someone could do a teensy little favor for me. There's something I need picked up from the student council room. Something you need picked up? What would it be? That's for me to know and for you to find out. All I'll say is it's something absolutely essential to your school life. And somebody needs to go and get it. Though it doesn't really matter who. Any takers? Sure, I'll go. If I show up at the student council room and tell them you sent me, they'll know what I'm there for, right? Wait. Are you sure you don't mind? You do have clubs to get to, right? I'm still totally undecided, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal at all. I can look into a few clubs myself along the way, in fact. Well, if you're sure you don't mind. Thank you. Student council room is in the student union building next door, at the end of the hall on the second floor. It's open until quite late, so there's no rush. Thank you, my dear. I leave everything in your capable hands. Okay.
This should be the student union building. I know the cafeteria is on the first floor, but I wonder where the student council room is.
Sarah already told you. Second floor, all the way at the end of the hall.
Hey there, first year. How's it going? Academy life been treating you well this past half month?
Oh, yeah, it has. Guess he must be a second year. It's not easy, but I'm managing. Mostly. Though I have a feeling it's only going to get harder from here on out.
Of course it will. Your class is going to be more intense than the others too. But you just hang in there, okay?
Okay. Wait. You're a second year student, aren't you? Do you mind if I ask your name?
Hey now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First things first, how about you let me show you this cool trick I've been practicing?
Trick?
You got a 50 mirror coin I can borrow?
I think so. Pretty sure I do anyway.
Cheers. All right, watch closely.
Huh?
Now, which hand is the coin in? Left or right?
It's in your...
Too bad.
Guess you win. I'm usually pretty good at following moving objects, too. Though, wait. You said this was a trick, which means...
You catch on quick.
Huh?
Keep up the good work, man. You're gonna need to be pretty tough to get through a year with Sara as your instructor. Oh, and the student council room is on the second floor, furthest room back. See you around. Have a good weekend.
Wait, my 50 mirror. He got me. Andy seemed to know I was heading to the student council room too. Somehow. Guy's good. I haven't met many of the second years yet. I wonder if they're all like that. Oh well. At least now I know where I'm going. Though if it really is open late, I guess there's no real rush. I might as well see what else people are up to in here.
Remember how I said some of the conversations with these side characters can be hilarious or amusing? This is one of those characters. Did you get any first years to join the literature club? We got one for photography club, but he's already showing up late and slacking off. She's lost in her own little book world again. Ah, tall boys with glasses really are the best. Just thinking about them makes me all tingly. Once she gets absorbed into her own little world, there's no real way to reach her. I hope that new member comes along soon. There's definitely still someone inside. I can sense it. I hope I'm not interrupting.
Hello? Please come in. It's open.
I recognize that voice. Pardon the interruption. Oh, you're that girl.
It's been about 2 weeks, hasn't it? Welcome to the student council room, Rean Schwarzer. Instructor Sara sent you, right?
Yes. So, you're a member of the student council then? I wonder if she got moved up a few years. She looks even younger than Fee.
Is something wrong?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just wondering, are you a second-year student?
I am, but there's no need for formalities with me. There's no junior or senior in my book. The name's Toa Herschel. I'm the student council president.
President?
Uh-huh. Does that surprise you?
I mean, I'm sure it would surprise most people.
I'm sure I'll have plenty of opportunities to interact with you and the other first years during your time here.
Probably.
So if there's anything you need help with, you just come and let me know, okay? I'll do everything in my power to make it better.
Thank you. That's very kind. She's seriously the student council president? That's hard to believe. So, the reason I've come here is because you're holding on to something for Class 7, right?
Oh, of course. Here you go. Yours is the one on top.
Let's see. Oh, our student notebooks. I completely forgot about these.
I'm really sorry it's taken so long. Class 7's curriculum is pretty different from any of the other classes. And you're even using a different kind of battle orbment, so yours had to be compiled separately.
Meaning these notebooks have information in them about...
The ARCUS, yes. All the student notebooks double as instruction manuals for their accompanying battle orbments. And the other first years are all using the same type as last year, so we could just reuse last year's template. But the ARCUS type you're using works quite differently, so we had to write a whole new set of directions from scratch.
Which makes me wonder, like, why they didn't do that before Class 7 even got assembled, you know?
Okay, that makes sense. But wait, who's we?
Pretty much just me. Instructor Sara asked me to do it on her behalf. Which means it's my fault this has taken so long. I'm really sorry.
Oh, no. If anything, it sounds like we owe you a huge debt of gratitude for putting so much time and effort into it. Is that really part of the student council's job, though? It seems more like something our instructor should be handling herself.
Technically, you're right, but she's always so busy. And I help out the other instructors a lot, too, so I don't mind lending her a hand from time to time.
What a nice person. Maybe a little too nice for her own good. I doubt she ever gets a moment's rest around here. So you just need me to give these to the other students in Class 7, right?
Yes, please. I really appreciate what you've all agreed to do, too.
Huh? What do you mean?
I heard all about it from Instructor Sara. She said you've agreed to help out the student council with our work, right?
That look. She's so adorable.
It's such a nice gesture. You're really getting Class 7 off to a great start here at the Academy.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Didn't you tell her that you wanted to help ease our workload? Something about wanting to better yourselves? To prove you were worthy of being a part of this prestigious new class? She said you were all really eager to help out, so I should try to delegate some of my duties to you.
I think that's her twisting our words a little bit.
Thank you, my dear. I leave everything in your capable hands. Mwah.
Mwah, indeed.
I'm sorry. Did I misunderstand her or something?
No, you understood her perfectly. She just twisted our words for her own benefit.
Oh, how embarrassing. I didn't mean to start trying to force work onto you when you've only just enrolled.
There's no way I can turn her down. No. Instructor Sara's absolutely right. Your plate is as full as I've seen, so if I can help you in any way, please let me.
Phew. I thought there had been a terrible misunderstanding there for a moment. But don't worry, I won't give you anything too difficult. It'll mostly just be fulfilling requests from people in the Academy and in Trista.
Requests?
Yep. Sometimes people send in feedback and list things they'd like us to do for them, and we try to help out however we can. I'll pick some up for you to do by the end of the day, and drop the list in your mailbox at your dorm tomorrow morning. Will that be okay with you?
Sure thing. Thanks. Dusk already? What a day. Can't believe she wound up treating me to dinner in the cafeteria.
She is a very nice person. I find Toa to be an extremely adorable individual, and I wish I had a friend like her.
And she's still got more student council work to do yet. How is she so busy? Hello? This is Rean Schwarzer speaking.
Guten Tag, my favorite little Wunderkind. I hear you had a nice little dinner date with the student council president. Ooh la la.
Damn it, Sara.
If this is how you treat your favorite little Wunderkind, I dread to think how you treat people you don't like. Would you care to explain why you've been signing me up for things behind my back?
I'll skip the details for now, but it's got something to do with the other part of your curriculum that I'll be announcing next week. I thought it'd be a good chance for one of you to do a little rehearsal before the main event. And since the student council truly is busy, I figured, why not kill two birds with one stone? A fine plan, if I do say so myself.
I have a feeling half the reason they're as busy as they are is because of certain instructors. But all right, I'm happy to play along. Basically, you just want me to spend my free day tomorrow helping the student council, right?
Oh, that's entirely up to you. If there's a club you're interested in joining, far be it from me to force you away from it.
No, to be honest, I still haven't found one that really clicks with me, so that won't be a problem. There is one question I'd like to ask, though. Why me, exactly? This seems like the kind of task typically entrusted to the class president or vice president, so Emma or Machias. And even if you were choosing based on social class, Eustace and Laura were both born into noble families. I wasn't. So what makes me so special, exactly?
Well, in a sense, you're effectively at the center of Class 7.
Pardon?
I'm not saying you're its leader, of course. But in a class full of nobles, commoners, and exchange students, you in particular are special. Surely even you can see that, no?
Well...
That's why I decided to give you first dibs, so to speak. I wanted to get an idea of how things might go from here on out. There's never been a class like yours before, after all. So there you have it. The beans have been spilled all over the place. Ball's in your court now.
Wait, what are you drinking?
Beer, of course. It's the weekend and I'm stuck wasting away in my room, imbibing libations. Alas, all by my lonesome. If only I had a classy gentleman friend who'd go out drinking with me. But woe of woes, such a man is nary to be found.
Are you okay?
Never better. But you, instead of trying to put everything in its place, why don't you just go with the flow for a change? It seems like you're desperately trying to find something. But if you don't plant yourself somewhere, you're just gonna blow away with the next big gust that comes along. And on that note, make sure you're back in the dorm by curfew and all transgressions will be forgiven. Toodles!
If I don't plant myself somewhere, huh? She may have a few screws loose, but she's got a point. Maybe I should just try going with the flow and see what comes of it.
Alright. President Toa left me in charge of handing out everyone's notebooks. Tomorrow's our first free day, so I should get this done tonight. Should be noted that aside from this one little exploration here and an exploration, I don't think it's in this game. I think it's in the second game. Most of the times before free days, just you get little random excerpt dialogue things. There occasionally are a couple of really funny things that pop up. For the most part, there isn't really any point to exploring the dormitory after this particular night. But you can if you want. You just end up talking with various people. This should be Machias's room. Who is it? It's me, Rean. I have something here for you. I'll be right there. Sorry for making you go through all the trouble. Oh, don't worry about it. Were you in the middle of studying? I'm sorry if I interrupted you. No need to be sorry for that. How did you know I was studying, though? You've got pencil marks all over the side of your hands. Well then. You should make sure to get plenty of studying in yourself. You don't want to find yourself falling behind. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Most of our classes seem like they're pretty hard, too. Agreed. Besides, it'll be a chance to show those snobby upper-class students. I'll see you tomorrow, then. Yeah. Good night. Hey there, Rean. Something the matter? Toa gave me Class 7 student notebooks to hand out earlier, so I'm just getting around to delivering those. Here's yours, Elliot. Oh, thanks. Anyway, were you playing the violin in here? Sorta. It's pretty late, so I wasn't really playing, per se. Just doing fingerings and motions. The wind orchestra isn't meeting tomorrow, so I thought it would be good to practice tonight instead. Wow, you're really into music, huh? I can't imagine most people being that invested in their hobbies. Your room's chock full of musical stuff, too. It's not that much, honestly. It'd be nice if the walls in these dorms were a bit more soundproof, though. Then I'd be able to play all night without bothering anyone. Spoken like a true music nerd. Moving on. Evening, Rean. What's up? Actually, I was just looking for you. I've got your student notebook here. Here you go. Oh, I was wondering when that'd come in. Thanks. Sorry to make you go through all the trouble to deliver it. No worries. Your room's got a really distinctive feel to it, though. What's that hanging on the wall over there? It's sort of an ornament made in the Nord Highlands. I thought it'd be nice to bring the spirit of my homeland along with me. I see. It really does give the whole room an exotic feel. You've got your brushes out too, so I'm guessing you're going to spend tomorrow painting? Yeah, I'm planning on heading over to the art club. Feel free to come along if you feel like it. Will do. One more boy, and we move on to the girls. This should be Eustace's room. Who's there? It's me, Rean. I've got your student notebook here. Very well. You have my thanks. Don't mention it. Do you mind if I ask what you were up to? I was simply reading. Oh? What kind of book? A biography I borrowed from the library. Why must I indulge your mundane little questions? Huh? While we may live in the same dorm, the two of us are perfect strangers. Your proximity to me does not give you license to intrude on my private life. You're right. I'm sorry about that. Pay it no mind. Also, I suggest you be more mindful when and to whom you volunteer your time. Otherwise, people will be more than happy to simply use you at every turn. That meant to be a warning? He doesn't seem like an easy guy to make friends with, that's for sure. But maybe he's got a good heart. Alright, on to the girls' side of things. I need to give Elisa her student notebook too. Right. Here goes. Who is it? It's me, Rean. What do you want? What are you even thinking about coming into an innocent girl's room late at night? Okay, good point. I wouldn't have under normal circumstances, but there's something I need to give you. Oh. Okay. Wait a moment. Hurry up and hand it over. Okay, just hold on a second. Should be this one. Let's see. Lisa, don't read that! I can't let my guard down around you for 1 second, can I? I'm sorry, I can't tell whose notebook is whose without looking inside. I really didn't mean any harm. Or so you say. Anyway, is that all you wanted, right? Good night, then. I guess I'll have to back off for tonight. But it seems the R is just an initial. I didn't Didn't finish reading the rest of her name before she snatched it out of my hands, though. Is there a reason she's hiding it? This should be Fee's room. Who's there? It's me, Rean. I've got something here for you. Coming. Cheers. Oh, were you sleeping? I didn't mean to wake you up. It's fine. I'm surprised you went to sleep this early, though. I mean, we just had dinner. I didn't have anything else to do. You done? Yeah, I just wanted to give you the notebook. Right. He's a unique one, that girl. Wonder how she ended up a student here, anyway. This should be Laura's room. Hey, Laura, are you in there? Is that you, Rean? I'll be right there. Thank you for taking the time to deliver this to me. Don't worry about it. What were you doing anyway? You didn't hear me knock and you're covered in sweat. I was just practicing with a wooden sword. I must have been so focused on my practice that I didn't hear you knock at first. Huh, that's some concentration, all right. Maybe I should do some practicing when I get back to my room, too. You certainly don't want to neglect your training. I'd enjoy it if I had someone to duel with sometime, too. Well, good night. Good night. On my first playthrough of both games, I went after Laura. She, for like a romantic option. I find her to be adorable and amazing, and since I already said that Elisa is very similar to Weiss, I'd say Laura is the stand-in for Pyrrha from Ruby in this game, and both because of her skills and her temperament and her commitment to training. She is, but at the same time, she's also quite adorable. If you catch her off guard, so you'll see some of that play out as the game progresses. I haven't decided what character I'm going to try and romance. We'll just have to see. I've got a couple of characters in mind, but I haven't decided. This should be Emma's room. Yes? Who is it? It's me, Rean. Do you have a moment? Ah, Rean. I'll be right there. Thank you. Oh, on an unrelated note, how are you planning on spending the day tomorrow? I'm thinking of helping the student council. How about you? I plan on looking into some more clubs. I haven't seen what the culture clubs have to offer yet, so I'll be visiting them tomorrow. Oh, right. Joining a club does sound like a good idea. Let me know if any of them seem really good. Alright, I will. Also, I do hope you're able to make up with Elisa soon. Did you hear us just now? Well, you weren't exactly quiet. I think Elisa still needs some time to sort out her feelings about everything. But don't worry, I'm sure that it'll all work out in the end. Thanks. Good night, Emma. Good night. Thank you for bringing my notebook, too. One person left to talk to. Alright, she's not in her room. She is downstairs, I think? Yep. Surrounded by I'm thinking that's a glass of water and not a glass of tequila, alongside 2 bottles of undisclosed alcohol. This is a pretty common sight for her. You really can't beat an ice cold beer after work. No, wait. Maybe you can. With 2 ice cold beers. Have you been drinking all night? At least try not to fall asleep here, okay? I don't want you to catch a cold. Don't worry your pretty little head about me. I am indestructible. Especially since I've got the day off tomorrow. You say that like it's totally an excuse for you to drink the night away. Well, anyway, you were nice enough to take some of the work off the student council, so that's a load off my shoulders. I'm looking forward to seeing how you perform tomorrow. Right. Wow, she went from plastered to bastard in a blink of an eye. Looks like there's a lot more to her than I thought. Really, though, how great is it that we're all free to do whatever we want tomorrow? And the only proper way to celebrate that is to drink the night away. Or maybe not. And with that, I am going to save it here, and we're going to call it good. The next episode will feature us going through the student council requests. I don't know if I'm going to show you guys all of the requests. I will be doing all the requests, but some of the requests are a little mundane. Some of them are pretty long, and a lot of them are somewhat tedious and may not necessarily be the most entertaining. So I will show you guys the ones that I feel like you guys would get the most kick out of alongside all of the events. And I'll do that for every free day that we have. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me. This was Archive 12. I shall see you in the next video.